Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at a really nice source book from the folks at Independence Games, the Hub Subsector source book for Clement Sector 3rd edition. This is a beautiful book. This was sent to me by the folks at Independence Games to take a look at, so thank you, I appreciate it. We're going to take a look at this book inside and out and some of the goodies it has to offer. Also, a quick note just on subscribers and subscriptions, please do want to keep the channel growing. And I need you guys to do that. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you know someone who hasn't, please have them subscribe. Also, please take a look at the Patreon. If there's anything you could do to help out there, that would really be appreciated. But back to the topic at hand, the Hub Subsector source book from Independence Games. Today on page 121. Hub Subsector source book from Independence Games. This is for Clement Sector 3rd edition. It's a beautiful book. I love these books from Independence Games. They are so pretty. As I said in the intro, this is part of a bundle of holding right now for about the next 4 days after publication of this video. You can jump on and you can get this and a bunch of other stuff for, I think it's about $37 now on the bundle of holding website. I'll put a link below. I also did a video last week about the offerings. This is a great deal. They're all for PDFs. But this is still a great deal. I didn't even remember that Hub was part of that deal until I actually started researching this video. So we're going to open this up. Again, I want to thank the folks in Independence Games for sending me this fine book written by John Watts, a great 2x6 science fiction writer. John's got a great imagination. I really like his stuff. Edited by Curtis Rickman. I'm not going to go over all the artists, although there is some Ian Stead artwork in here. Page 4 has some. Yeah, Ian does get a special mention, although I like that artwork too. There you go. So he gets the subsector map. Who did that one? The one on page 2. Bradley Warrens. Well, accolades. I like that picture. That's a nice mood music setting for us. So then we come to the table of contents. Love the table of contents in Independence Games. You can find stuff easily in their products. I like that. Great look at the subsector itself. And this is Hub. And Hub has the distinguishing feature of being the one that was settled first. Hub is where the conduit used to connect out in Clement Sector. So Hub was the hub of trade. That's why it's Hub. And Hub itself became very, very important and has remained important even though the conduit collapse changed pretty much everything in Clement Sector and in Earth Sector. But Hub is still a very important subsector with a lot of important pass-throughs of various Zim points. It's just a great hub. I still like it a lot. And then we go through each of the planets, the sectors, the systems, and they are broken down, coming down from the top. So start here to Taro, Kingston, and so on. I like that because it's easy to find. Of course, there's the reference number also. There's the hex number right there with the Universal World Profile. But we get some nice stuff in here. We get a look at the system details, the physical data of the system, the atmospheric details, a nice breakdown of the system itself, and incoming and outgoing Zim points. So where are you when you come in? Where are you when you go out? This is really nice. OZP, because this tells you where you're coming in and where you're coming in from. Clement Sector, as I've said before, I did a video on it. Your Zim point goes through basically a bubble in space, creates a bubble, but you have to go through a specific Zim point, kind of a wormhole, and it only takes you from one specific point to another specific point. So basically Babylon 5's stargates, if you will, but these are not man-made, they're naturally occurring. You use your Zim drive to create a bubble that lets you precipitate yourself into these little non-spaces, and then you stay in Zim space, not jump space, for the amount of time, and then you come out and you're in the new area. That makes an interesting dynamic for Clement in that they become choke points. Unlike other 2x6 science fiction role-playing games, where you can just come into the system anywhere you want as long as you're not near a planet or any kind of gravitational body. Here you're coming in at a very specific point, so it's possible for somebody to fortify the exit point to get you as you come out, or even to prevent you from getting in. So kind of neat. I like that about the Clement Sector, about this system. We get the hydrographic details of the planet and geographic details. And this is done for each and every one of these. And then we get down population details, government details, which is where some of the great ideas are for this, and then the legal details and cultural details. From here on, I mean, these are all good. All this stuff is really good and important. But if you're looking to just kind of swipe stuff from one book and throw it into your game, that's what I love about these games. John Watts has a really good imagination, and I'm going to show you an example or two of ones I'm definitely swiping for my future game, a future game, and then we got to look at some of the planets, or some of the cities. I'm sorry, on the main planet. Just really nice, great artwork. I really like these books. Now we come to Kingston. This is the one I was talking about. And again, we get a look at the system details, the physical data, the subsector location or I'm sorry, not subsector, but the location for all the stuff in astronomical units, the outer system, inner system, remote system. I like that. It shows us where the Zim points are. It's really nice. Atmospheric details, hydrographic details, geographic details, population details, and government details. And this one, I had to read this section twice. I enjoyed this. It's ruled by a religious dictatorship based on a local religion called Caxtonism. And see Clement Sector, the Big Beautiful Book, page 635. It's based on the teachings of Ian Caxton, or Ian. He was a popular religious feature. Caxton was a popular religious figure on Earth in the late 22nd century, who said God had spoken to him in the form of an angel of light called Trilixi. In 2172, Caxton had been working outside the lunar city of Huang when he was approached by the angel. Trilixi is said to have touched Caxton's spacesuit and transferred a book of new revelation into the memory of his suit. A book of new revelation was then copied by Caxton and given away free. I absolutely love this section because all I could think while I was reading it is, okay, this guy's got a few moments of oxygen deprivation. He's able to survive it, but out of it, we get a new religion and a holy spacesuit. I absolutely love the idea that this entire religion is based on this guy's oxygen deprivation and a holy spacesuit. I enjoyed that. I am absolutely using that, especially the holy spacesuit. I have an idea for a heist traveler game, maybe a one-off where they're trying to swipe or recover the holy spacesuit. I'm not making fun of religions, folks. That one thing just gave me the idea, and that I think is something I'm going to be doing. Okay, back to the topic at hand. We get the legal details of living in Kingston, the cultural details, the Kingston calendar, and then the various selected cities. There's the angel coming down to talk to him as his leak continues in his spacesuit. Sorry. So it continues on. We get some nice artwork. Each of these systems get these nice treatment with the inner, outer, and remote systems, showing the IZP, the incoming Zim point, and the OZP, the outgoing Zim point. Just really, really nice reference work here. Population details are really good. This kind of book for me is, I go to the planet. I'm going to go to the planet. I'm going to see what I can swipe out of the planet. I have to find the other planet. I didn't mark it last night, unfortunately. There's a planet where they basically plant a chip in your head and you have to be happy. And all I could think of was Ren and Stimpy, the Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy song, as Ren is wearing the helmet that makes him happy. I don't think you're happy enough. Let's see. Ruschel, this might be the one. No, participatory democracy. I enjoyed this book a great deal. Obviously, I'm sitting here chuckling about things I read in it, simply because I get so many ideas out of books like this, and that's kind of the point. You're never just this one book. If you GM'd for 40 years, which I have, you're never going to hit everything in a book, even this size, let alone a series of books like this. You're going to go through and you're going to pick, and you're going to say, hey, this is some good stuff. I'm going to go ahead and use it in my game. If I want to come up with a heist scenario for a magic spacesuit, then that's what I'm going to do. Some of these are pretty nice. There was a system in here where there's no real law outside of the immediate city, and you can land your starship pretty much wherever you want, but you're on your own if you crash the thing. I just like the idea of somebody being in a trader, uh, landing their starship next to their house, and hey honey, I'm home, and coming on in for dinner. I thought that was really cool. It was something I'd never really thought about in any kind of space game before, but the idea of being able to just park in your own driveway is an interesting one. Uh, there are some strict laws in some of these planets. Uh, Firearms are illegal on Wilhelmshaven. I can't find the one where they put the chip in your head. I enjoyed that one a great deal. Oh, well. Well, I'll tell you what, buy the book, read through it, and you can tell me which one it was. I'm definitely going to find it after I'm done. I'm not going to stop the video just to locate that. It is in here. I love also that one of the cities is named Nixon. Although I was disappointed there was no Millhouse. Millhouse was Nixon's middle name for those younger viewers out there, which according to my demographics, I really don't have a lot of younger viewers, but what the heck. And then we have Hub itself. I like Hub as just a main world for any 2-6 science fiction role-playing game. There's another planet that has basically a plant that secretes something that is enough to actually kill you. It's not even a poison. It's more like a curare type thing, where it'll actually kill you if you even get scratched by it. It smears the stuff on its, or it has it smeared on its leaves, and it goes into your system. And there's some thought that this particular blade grass might actually be sentient and actually hunt people when they get out among it. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. Like I said, John has a great imagination. He does some really good stuff for this kind of stuff. Here we go, Vection rebel groups, Sophronius. I love rebel groups. I swipe them all the time from different things I read. And it doesn't have to be for science fiction. Fantasy stuff is good for various groups too. You can just port that over to your science fiction game. This is it's a nice book. It's really solid reading. John's stuff reads so well. Again, I'm not going to bog down in each and every one. Here's a group of council, a group of 7 that rule their particular planet. And again, you can take some of these ideas and say, okay, the 7 rule the planet, but they're really corrupt. They're glomming onto all kinds of money for themselves. There's all kinds of ideas in here. I call the books like these idea food. There are so many good ideas in a book like this. And I realize I'm going through kind of quick, but I really just want to show you what you get and the detail that you get in these. These are detail for planets is sometimes not easy to come by. It's easier now than it used to be with the internet and everything. But even so, some of the details brought out in here. Here we have a culture, the Nacians, who are obsessed with safety. Warnings are placed on most items detailing dangers which could occur if something goes horribly wrong. Nacians as a group often avoid risk and risky behaviors. Anybody who does seen that is seen as unusual or weird. Some of these activities are illegal. So the idea that you could ride a horse without a helmet could be illegal. Just all kinds of good stuff in these books. So I'm going to stop gushing. I really enjoyed this read. I would love to just kind of dial into a sector or a system or two. If you're interested in that, please let me know. I have a number of these subsector books that I do want to take a look at. So maybe I'll start, when I do these, instead of just paging through like this, I'll focus on one of the main worlds in the subsector and go from there. Let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. But here we have a nice section on the Hub's Federation government. So this is actually something that's pretty good too. Maybe I'll go back and I'll do a whole video on Hub. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And then we have the open game license, and then we're through the book. I really enjoyed this book. These are just a fun read. You get so many ideas from this. My wife was watching a TV show, and I was actually sitting we were watching it in the family room. I wasn't watching, I was reading, and I was actively laughing at some of the stuff I found here. Not that it's funny, but for the role-playing opportunities that are presented. So that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I recommend this highly. I'll put the link to the bundle of holding. You have the opportunity at that for about the next 4 days after the publication of this video. You still got about 4 days to take a look at that. That's all for PDFs, not hardcovers. It's absolutely a great deal. And also, if you take a look at my backlog, I've looked at 6 or 7 of the books that are in that bundle previously on my channel, so you can get an idea of what's contained inside and see if it's for you. So that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I don't think I showed the back of the book. And I'll see you next time.